Rob, I'm going to ask you quickly about this. And I said Anthony Edwards is probably, I think, going to be the first pick. We'll see if that comes to fruition. He did an extensive interview with ESPN. He said a lot, but I'm going to throw one quote out at you and see what you think. Would you have second thoughts about drafting a guy that said this, number one? Here's a quote on his passion for basketball. To be honest, I can't watch basketball. I'm still not really into it. I love basketball, yeah. It's what I do. And then he said if he was drafted in the NFL tomorrow, he'd let basketball go. I got to read this quote to you too, because this will tell you something about him. Here's why he said he would let basketball go. Not because I love hitting folks, not because there's nothing more exhilarating than a kickoff return or whatever. This is why. Quote, because you can do anything on the field. You can spike the ball, you can dance, you can do all types of disrespectful stuff. You can't do any of that in the NBA. You'll get fined. Okay.
No way, no how. I know it's easy to say you wouldn't pick him at the first pick or whatever, but I would definitely have reservations because, Chris, I've talked to many football players, and I'm thinking you've probably talked to some athletes as well, who don't like football.
We talk about that a lot, right? There's guys that love the game and guys that just like it or maybe don't even like it.
I've had guys tell me I do this because I can make money. I'm a good living out of it. I don't like it. Okay? I don't. And I get that. If you're 6'4", Chris, and weigh 350, there aren't too many jobs, seriously,
that where you can make millions?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Come on.
So that's why they do it, and I
don't
get
even
it.
blame them. Yeah.
But they don't say it publicly. It ain't something that you should say publicly, Chris. That's all. You could feel that way, and I get it. You know, sometimes it's hard to watch. He's not the only one watching the NBA. There's other people who don't like the style of the game or other reasons. But for him to say, I'm not into the game or I give it up tomorrow, it just would make me feel uncomfortable. Most people who make it on this level and get to where he is, Chris, they live, they die, they breathe. It's their existence. So when you hear a guy like laissez-faire about it, it makes you wonder. It makes you, as soon as things don't go well for him or as soon as he gets paid, where he says, I'm not going to work at this. I got paid. I just got $70 million guaranteed. I'm good. Right. I'll play. But I'm not trying to get better or kill myself out here.
Well, I think you said a mouthful, and I agree with a lot of it. And I'll say this. I'm going to say these things in defense of him. It's not what you want to hear, and you're absolutely right. You don't need to say it publicly. I'm going to say a few things in his defense, though. One, and I'm sure you've had the same conversations with athletes. There are a lot of great players that did not grow up watching much of basketball or football.
They don't know the
whatever
history
sport
of the game.
or
they don't
baseball,
know anything of it.
Maybe they were out playing it or doing something else, but they weren't watching it like a lot of us who are actually in sports writing did.
Yep.
You know, like for us, we were watching it religiously, reading Sports Illustrated and all that. There are a lot of guys that you'd be surprised who just didn't watch the game like that. So maybe that's what he means, right? Maybe I'm going to say maybe he means that. And I'm going to throw this at you too. He did give up football. He was a legit football player. And I'm told, and I don't know if this is factual, but one executive whose team could choose him told me he supposedly ran a 4.4 40 in football. Okay, a 4.4 40-yard dash. So he was a good football player. At 15 or so, he had a growth spurt, and people start telling him, man, you could play basketball. And he gave up football. So he did give up football to play basketball. But maybe football's still his favorite sport. Remember Allen Iverson? Football may have been his favorite sport. You know, I don't know if he ever said it, but he obviously loved football. And that was certainly his first love. I don't know if it remained that way. And here's the other thing, Rob. He's 19. You know, he's had a kind of a tragic upbringing. Dad not really in the picture. Mom and grandma died when he was like 14 or 15, right around the same time too. And so he's had a tough situation. Now he's with Clutch Management, which is, LeBron's group, Rich Paul. I think that they're going to be good for him. I'm surprised that they kind of didn't coach him on this to just not say that, you know what I mean? But they've shown, they've helped a lot of guys with, obviously LeBron knows how to do things off the court. So I think they'll help him in this regard, which is a good sign. And, the one saying around the NBA, Rob, is did you choose the game? This is kind of to your point. Do you love it or not? Did you choose? There are guys that chose the game, and then there are guys that the game chose them.
Right.
Because you're 6'7", you're athletic, you jump through the
or
gym.
You
know
see
what
the
I'm saying?
little guys who are like, you would be like, why are you playing basketball? Because they had a passion for it. They're not,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not.
Right.
If you're 6'8" walking around or 6'10", Chris, how are you not playing basketball?
Rob, you can go a decade or more without ever encountering a 6'8" person in your life, right?
Yes.
I don't know when the last time I came across a 6'8" person who wasn't like, one of our former players in the studio or something like that. Honestly, I can't remember the last quote unquote regular person that I saw that was 6'8". So that is a gift. And then to be that athletic. So what would you draft a guy? Would you be bothered, worried, scared to death that your top pick says, I'd give up basketball in a minute if they drafted me to play in the NFL? I don't love the game.
The last time someone on television who did sports for a living said that, I don't think they were around too long.
Where's that person? Have you seen?
I don't know. No.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Right? I know exactly that was worse than what this dude said.
Right.
That was straight arrogance. He's doing it out of naivety, a young kid. That was straight up arrogance.
Was straight arrogance. Like,
right.
I could say and do whatever and you won't do anything to me. No. Yeah, you were wrong on that.
It was good for the business. As much as I may like that person, it was good for the business. You can't
You can't do that. You can't do it. I agree. Adam in D.C., you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Adam?
Hey, nice to hear from you guys. It's been a long time since I called, but man, all those red flags, I would not draft that kid. I feel like I know he's young, and what was I saying when I was 18, 19? Please, guys, don't pull it up. But he has a gift, and something you find out of those young men is to be exceptional at a young age because they're doing a lot with all those millions from 18 to 24. A lot of us would blow it. So we need to give a lot of those young men that don't do it credit. But back to the main point, when I'm looking for somebody I'm drafting, especially number one, first round, all that stuff he said is stuff that you should have known not to say. And you probably do feel that way, but no, I don't like that. I need somebody with that Russell Westbrook.
No, I hear you.
LeBron James.
You know what? 100%. Somebody who lives, breathes, sleeps, eats basketball.
Where it really scares you is that he may still be good, but you ain't going to be as good as you could be. You're not going to be like pushing it like a Kobe Bryant. That's what you want. A guy that pushes you like that.
Right. It's their life mission, Chris.
Right.
It's like
to be the best ever or something.
Right.
Yep. But here's the thing, Rob. In this draft, everybody got their red flag. I told you about the LaMelo red flags. Right. Weissman, big men aren't what they used to be in this league. So it's a different type of draft where everybody got some red flags. So,
all right, let's squeeze in one more. Corey in North Kakalaka. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Corey?
Fellas, what's up? Y'all doing all right?
How you, brother? How are you?
Good, man. Good.
We're not as good as you because you sound great.
You sound like Bugs Bunny. That's how happy you are.
God been too good to me, y'all. I won't dare to complain.
All right. That's good to hear.
Yes, sir. But, man, look, that desire thing scares me. It kind of reminds me of Ricky Williams. You know what I mean? Super talented.
Good point.
If you don't love it, it's what made him and Edgerrin James different in that draft. Edgerrin James wanted that thing. You know what I'm saying? But with all that being said, fellas, you got to take this kid number one by default. Nobody else is that good.
Right, and like I said, there's red flags about LaMelo and Wiseman too. So,
but you know what? That's Ricky Williams thing is great.
Chris, that's a good comparison. Yes.
Ricky just wanted to smoke weed. he gave up his NFL career. Just think about that. To go to Tibet and smoke weed all day, and then I guess he ran out of money and realized, like, what am I doing? Like,
tried to come back.
To come back. Well, you had to be like the dumbest guy ever.
Well, remember the kid in Milwaukee in the NBA? Was it Larry? What was it? Larry something. I can't remember his last name. He gave up Larry Sanders. You remember that, Rob?
Yeah, Larry Sanders,
Yeah,
right.
he gave it up essentially to smoke weed, too. They were born a little too early because it's getting legalized.
Now,
in most
right.
places,
I was going to say, they're probably kicking themselves.
Right.
If it was 20 years later, I could smoke weed and be in the NBA or be in the NFL.
Absolutely.